What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. You are logging with me on a Freedom Friday. Thank you so much for being here on this Freedom. We're heading to Raleigh a little later than planned, so I said bump it. I'll just do my live video now. Listen, we have the weekend special going. There are so many emails. You guys are wearing me out as I'm training new employees that I put a quick 20-minute special, $50 special up. And if any of the moderators come in and put the link up, I'd appreciate that. It's the PayPal link I put in yesterday's video. Put it up again today because clearly some of y'all want to send me 12 paragraphs. And your girl ain't gonna read 12 paragraphs for free. I ain't got time for it, and I'm not gonna respond. I pretty much open it, see if you're a past student of any of my courses. If you're not, close it out. It took me so long to do that I was like, I'm not going through 400 emails. If it's not attached to a paid client, we're gonna click it and delete it. So if you want to get a hold of me, if you want to do a 20-minute consult, it's a $50 special. It will be in the links in the description after the video and ours. So look, you saw the thumbnail. The thumbnail was a girl has no president. Now, if you guys are any Game of Thrones people, you know, a girl has no name. You know, the man has no name, no face. The faceless people. And that's where that whole theme comes from. The girl has no president. So, with that being said, everybody's disrespecting Kanye, Erica. People are disrespecting Kanye because he told the truth. I'm not saying what Kanye said was not the truth. It just was not the place. Let me say that again. I'm not saying what Kanye West, his version of the truth of being apparently a single parent home, lack of male energy, you know, him wearing that hat makes him feel like a superhero. You know, as weird and as unique as Kanye, who is suffering from mental health issues, but is on medication, and that's widely documented. He has the right to express himself. He has the right to say whatever he feels. But all I'm saying is it wasn't the time or place. Let me say that again. It wasn't the time or place. Now, if you wanted to come up there and get national news and talk about, man, can we put some more money to these schools? Can we figure out a way to get more Job Corps programs? Can we figure out a way to like strip out a bunch of ex-felons, you know, felons to get into the Pell Grant? Because, you know, a lot of felons, what people don't understand, when you come out of jail and you have a felony, it gets you out a lot of the financial aid opportunities. So when people are like, why can't these people just come out of prison and, you know, go to do this, right? So there's so many topics regarding his black male experience that he could have talked on. But yet he went up there and it was a little unpolished. Again, I've already had like 12 friends that we've already had disagreements with in the DMs, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Listen, I'm not saying what Kanye said was wrong. What I'm saying, and I'm not saying he's not crazy. He's a little bit, I mean, that medicine is helping, but it just wasn't the time or place for national news. That's how black people are represented in the national news on some baby mama drama. Like, the part of the reason that I love going on the O'Shea show, and I love visiting different channels, because people get to silos. They get in these little silos where they start talking crazy, and and Edward Anderson out of Raleigh is right. They having therapy online. They having angry black mama issues. You know, angry man divorced, his wife divorced him, so now all women are horrible issues. They're like venting their hearts on the internet when they need to be paying for some counseling. And when you say something about counseling, they're like, well, you know, okay, Erica, okay. It's just like, they need counseling. And Kanye West, what he said yesterday was something that wasn't inaccurate. He may have, there is an epidemic of, if you talk to a lot of PE teachers, you talk to a lot of personal trainers, you talk to a lot of different people in different spheres, and even a study showed that kids' hands are weaker, men are less strong than their fathers and their grandfathers. So there's something in the water, there's something in our lifestyle, there's something in how we're conducting ourselves that is affecting men. Right? Oh, same thing with Aretha Franklin funeral. I'm trying to pay attention to the road, but Aretha Franklin funeral, the guys up there talking about drive-bys and gang shootings. And my whole thing is, Aretha Franklin wasn't shot in a drive-by. Why are you talking about this? Why are you using this platform in an inappropriate way? And this is my thing. Here's the thing I say. I think Glenn and Cameron said this, and a couple other people. You're not going to use my dime to shine. You're not going to use my time to shine. You're not going to do it on my dime. You're not going to do it on my station. You're not going to do it on my platform. You're not going to do it there. And what Donald Trump did is just let somebody come up there and give national news to shine on some coon shit. And I'm not even saying coon. I hate that word. I mean, like, of all the topics that could have been displayed or talked about, if you gave me a list of 100 topics, I'm not going to sit up there and talk about out of wedlock mothers, because honestly, white people are affected by the millions. And because people are so horrible at math in America, you got actual black men on there going, no, it's more black women. Okay, look, you have 46 million black people, which I already believe that number is bunk, because they just showed out a national policy that said, oops, we've been miscounting for the past 20 years. So white people are less, and black people and Asian people and Hispanic people are way more than we counted. We got to redo it in the next census. So we already know that. We already know those numbers are probably way off. Okay? And so what ends up happening is, you're talking about, for the numbers that they have out there for us to use, 46 million African Americans. You cut that in half, that's 23 million African Americans who are actually over 18. So it's not that many. Okay, so out of that 23 million, 5 million women are married, 5 million men are married. Okay, so that takes 10 out of that. So that's what, 13 million left over? Now you split that down to half, you have about 5 million on each side, a little bit. I think you have more women, 6 million women, 5 million men. So you're talking about a small couple of million of people who are doing this out of wedlock birth crap. Okay, see, people don't want to do that math. They don't want to really get to the numbers and the statistics. They want to give you these stupid anecdotes. And every time I have these black men on O'Shea channel and these other channels saying the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life, I go, you need a math tutor, sir. You need to get off the internet and go find a math tutor, because your brain is crap. Your brain is mush. Yes, Erica's ranting on a Friday. I'm going to do what I want to do. It's my channel. But the problem here is, if you ask me what America's real problem is, it's math. It's the lack of comprehension. Every time you hear these people say 70% of black women have children out of wedlock. No, 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 no. 70% of the women who do have children are having them out of wedlock. Almost 40% of white women who do have children are having them out of wedlock. Now let's dig into that number even more. Half of white women over 35 have no children. Hence why you see all these fertility clinics popping up everywhere in America. And hence you see the last census, the growth rate for white Americans was only 2%. Black people was 8%. Indian Americans were 9%. And I'm talking about Indian with a feather, not a dot. For a reason, you know, I'm gonna get a flag maybe out of that comment. And Asians were 25%, and Hispanics were 28%. Increased growth on the census last time. That's how the census knew, oh my God, we've messed it up. We got to go back and do the math on where did we mess up. And they realized they messed up 20 years in a row on how many white people and how many whatever. You know, you're not even thinking of the fact that you have all these Middle Eastern people coming. My friend's Egyptian. And she, I think, is marked white on census. And she was like, what is going on? She was confused. She didn't understand. Right? And so, all I'm saying out of this whole, is it a problem that we have out of wedlock births? Heck yeah. But we also have these silos where, unfortunately, if you are a single parent, you live in this particular neighborhood and everybody lives over there because of what? Poverty. Because poverty is a math problem. See, we always get back to the math, and y'all don't want to do the math, and that's what drives me crazy when you have these people who what's true but is so shallow and ignorant you can't even really talk to them. You're like, that's so ignorant. Like, every time I hear some men be like, all these black women single parent mamas, and I'm like, every time I see some black dudes, they married to some white lady with single kids who had kids before they married her. So it's like, let's do some real math here, bro. Let's do some real math, all right? Now, I am coming from a middle class person, of a person that goes to a very wealthy church, and like, they do get in silos. I actually do see them. I actually do see them, because what happens is, I see people generationally, they went to college, they went to the Christian Bible group, okay? And then they got married right after college, and then they went to church, and now they've had kids, and now those kids are in youth group at my church. And then they go to college, and then they get in the Bible study group, and they keep recycling that. Follow the pattern. They keep following the pattern. So a lot of this is habits, patterns, and money. People are missing the whole point of the money part. And it's so mentally exhausting when you see people, you know, yelling about Democrats and Republicans. And really, I just listened to part of Trucking Justice. I didn't finish it, but I mean, if you want to hear the first 30 minutes of just jewels dropped in your head that you need to replay it like 7 times, go listen to Todd Millionaire podcast, Trucking Justin. And Trucking Justin, you can find him on Instagram in Miami. But the point of the whole thing is, like, if you just see stereotypes and you just go, well, I assume that black person has no parent at home. I assume that black person is a thug or a criminal. I assume this person is poor. You are missing out on millions of Americans. There are 2.5 million black business firms that make over $105 trillion. You can go look this up for yourself at blackdemographics.com. Okay? And what I said is the bulk of those businesses aren't barbershops and hair salons and food places. They're construction, they're healthcare, there's all these things related. But what people don't understand is I was looking at Jason Black last night show, and I bought his ticket just to support the Race War movie. Not that I was a big fan of it. I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear that. But then I bought it because I wanted to support it. Now, what ends up happening is the folks are missing the forest for the trees, y'all. I'm trying to hype. I'm trying to like bring it back down. Whew. I'm trying to bring it back down. What I'm saying is people are missing the forest for the trees. They're missing the whole point is that it's math. That is math. And people are like, oh, the Democrats, they hate, I see your comment. I see it up there, Jay. They hate black men and love black women. And it's like, dude, people promote to who will vote for them. And what people don't understand is black people, as far as numbers, are way less. Just way less, dude. But I want you guys to go on blackdemographics.com. It's CDC numbers, but again, it is like, it's math, dude. It's math. There's a ton of, like, Jason Black show last night, where I want to go with that. I had to think before I say what I want to say. I had to clear it up. On Jason Black's show, he was talking with 2 millionaires, and one was drunk and pissy at a bar, and he's just talking about all his trip and his travel and stunting on them and doing all this stuff. And he asked him, well, how did you get the loan? How did you actually get the loan? And the guy sobered up in 30 seconds and was like, whoa. Right? Because when you start asking people true questions, people don't want to give that out, right? And that's why when I do these YouTube videos and I'm telling people, hey, you need to do this, you need to call the bank on the phone, don't do the internet thing, don't do the Duns and Bradstreet thing, don't do all these other things, and people fight me on it, I'm like, that's why wealthy people don't do it. That's why people who are going off and buying properties and stuff don't tell anybody. They don't, right? Like, and I don't have time to hem and haw with people over stuff under 30 grand. Right? Like, I really don't, because I'm like, you're missing the forest for the trees. You're missing getting that trucking loan could change your life. Could put an extra $2 grand in your pocket every week. Getting that real estate rental can put an extra $1,000 in your pocket every month. And then you can actually refinance it and take that money and do it again, right? Right? So the math is there. And it's clear if you really study and really press yourself. But a lot of that are well-to-do, that are doing well, don't want to talk about it. Because this way we're trained in America, 1. And 2, it's like you sound dumb to be... A smart person can sound dumb. Todd posted it today, and I said agree. A very smart person can sound dumb or crazy to dumb people. But Kanye West did sound dumb as hell. Now look, did Kanye West, what he said was right? Yes, I believe there is a big issue when you have lack of male energy in a home. I think a lot of men set the tone. A lot of times as a kid growing up, I'm like, oh my God, I almost broke my arm. And my mom's like, oh my God. Then my dad's like, you're fine. Like, chill. And so I was telling you guys one time I was at a barbershop, and I was waiting for my nephew to get his haircut, and this man came in, and he was like, hey, you put this person in a chair before me. I just stepped out to use the phone. And then like arguing back and forth with these grown men and being emotional. And it was like, bro, like, it ain't that serious. You acted real pressed for a man. And the same thing happened when I was at Lowe's and Home Depot. Like, I worked at Lowe's as management, but Home Depot people, I know the stories are the same. This men coming in there super pressed and angry and like fussing and bickering with you at an emotional level that's so high that you're like, I can't take it there. I can't take it there with you, bro. I don't know what happened to you today. I don't know what's happening in your life, but you going off on the wrong person. You know, for a disagreement on 30 cents per lumber or something, you know. It's weird sense things that would happen while I was there. Well, you know, Nikki baby, that's the thing. It's like I was confused. Like he was talking about his parents separated and all this other stuff. And I was sitting there like, okay. And then I just felt like the more I listened, the more my brain was like this is a topic for sure. Is this the right place for this topic though? Is this the right time for this topic? Is this the place we should be talking about this? Is this what we want to talk about on national news? Nobody gave him a cue card to go up there and say, let's talk about job programs. Let's talk about financial education in schools. Now, here's my theory about the next generation of Black and Hispanic kids. Now, there was an article. It's so full of shit. It's like, oh, Black and Hispanics will have no wealth in 40 years. They'll be absolute in poverty. And I actually think that whole study is bunk. Because when you look at their true wealth gap, it's like $68,000. Really, a lot of times it's actually just buying a home and paying off a car, not keep rolling over in new car loans. But people love the new cars. And people keep saying, Erica, but I want a new car. I worked hard. I want a car. And I go, listen, for fucking what? For who? Who are you doing this car for? It's not for you. Because now when you drive to work every day, you got to think about that car. The extra $400 a month, you paying in the car payment. And another $300 in insurance and gas and other stuff. I mean, it starts to be like, it's like somebody beating themselves. Like, why are you beating yourself? Well, are you that pressed to have a car? It's really weird. It's really weird out here. So, the problem with that is it's a math problem. And we're trying to, like, as you try to educate people, I think the next generation of kids see so much bad math and bad situations that they should be doing better. Like, even when I hear kids now graduating with $100,000 student loan debt, I from conversations I'm having with a lot of them, they know they got to go get a sales job or a job that pays $100,000. Like, it's not even a question anymore. It's like, oh yeah, I got an art degree, but I got to go straight to this corporate office and work this $100,000 job. Now, here's the problem with that. There's all these people on the internet. Well, do what you love. Do what's in your heart. Do what's in your passion. What's your passion? And I go, stop that shit. Okay, like there has to be at least a year kind of a grind kind of mentality. And a lot of people are trying to skip over that. Now, here's where worlds collide and things get kind of messy. Middle Eastern folks, Asian folks, people that immigrate to America, essentially they come with the thought of like, okay, I got this job. Okay, like it pays me well, but I need to own something. I need to own my own business. I need to own my own thing. And so sometimes they create little side businesses, little side web restaurants, little side whatever. I've seen people own gas stations and they still have a full-time job. I know a Haitian dude is doing it right now. And the key here is they realize, I may not have say-so at work, but I have say-so in this thing I've created. I may not have say-so like I want that job, but I have say-so here, right? And I think Todd Capital just wrote a thing about trying to get a raise from work. And he just gave himself a raise on the other side. Because the job is the job. The money is the money. That's why when I see people protesting about McDonald's and all these places need to pay $15 an hour, they're completely missing the fact that that owner's probably like, why are you still here? If you think you need $25 an hour, you think you need $20 an hour to live, go get your money. Go get your money. Why are you here? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, why are you here? And in America, we don't have that mantra. You know, you feel like you deserve 20 hours, so you deserve 20, like you feel you're 30, so you should be married. You feel you're this age, so you should have kids. And it's not a actual evaluation of skill or merit. It is like, I feel this, so it is true. All right? I feel this is true, so it's true. Exactly. Been a bartender, you can make $20 an hour on your own. But a lot of times we have people in society now. This is where Mitt Romney technically lost the election, is when he talked about the 45%. There's always going to be 47% of people who want you to do it for them. And was he lying? No, he wasn't lying. There are people out in society that would much rather you tell them to get up and where to be. That's why when people say, oh, jobs are going away, jobs are going, no, they're not. No, they're not. There will always be somebody to come work a job. Right now, where all these places are saying they're hiring for $10 an hour and they can't find people, don't worry. Let the recession get a little harder and people don't really think for themselves or can't really come up with a way to make money for themselves. They'll go to work. They'll go work for that $10 an hour. It's a job. It's a job. So, now, there was just one thing this guy asked me, and I was going to bring it up here. But Erica, where is the time and place for us to discuss the single mom issue? Where is the time and place, Erica? You know, the fatherlessness in America is an epidemic. It's bad. It's starting to affect white people even more. You know, the divorce rates and all this other stuff. And I get it. But that won't the time and place. Kanye West is not a financial expert. He's not a family therapist. He's not some kind of expert on something. And people are like, well, the experts aren't the ones who know all the answers, Erica. That's true. People on ground zero do know some answers. But that's just not the time and place. Now, where is the time and place? A town hall. Kanye West really was like, you know, I'm really upset about this fatherlessness in America. I'm upset. You don't think people would pack out a town hall to listen to Kanye speak for an hour about fatherlessness in Chicago, about fatherlessness in LA, about fatherlessness in Texas? You don't think he would do that? Huh? Come on now. That's the time and place. You guys definitely hit the like button to defeat Skynet. It's 100 people in here. It's 25 likes. You know, everybody right now, if you could, put your city and state in there so I could kind of get an idea of where you guys are at, where you guys are from. Because I know a lot of you are Atlanta. I don't want to assume. I know there's a lot of New York and Maryland, but I always feel bad just assuming I know what state you're in. Because when I talk, I'm assuming a lot of y'all are from New York. And we're talking about New York prices. And people are like, no, Erica, I'm in California, Florida. Okay, good. We can talk about the math in those cities, right? So if Kanye West came to Tampa, somebody, or Florida, mostly, but Tampa, do you not think he could pack a townhouse out? Cold in Cleveland? I mean, hey, listen, Cleveland's 2 hours from Detroit. And I'm trying to figure out what type of jackets I need to bring when I go in October. Okay, we got Dallas in here. We got some California. Okay, cool. Detroit, Michigan, Chicago. Right. All these places you guys live at right now. In your city or state, could Kanye West pack out a town hall talking about fatherlessness? Put a 1 in the comments if it's true. Because I have a strong feeling he could. I have a strong feeling if you said, hey, Kanye West is coming to our city to talk about that, right? Like, I just feel like when people were fighting with me on internet, Erica, where is the time and place? A town hall. A town hall. That's what politicians do. That's what people, when they really want to discuss something, that's what they do. He'd have cameras and he wouldn't have to rush his thoughts. Like in 10 minutes with the president, he could talk about it in an hour, 2 hours. He could even play some music at the end of the show or something. I don't know. But that's where he should do it. That's where the conversation for Kanye West about fatherlessness and the lack of male energy and wearing the Make America Great hat makes him feel great. Texas, New York, Atlanta, he could pack it out. He could pack it out in every city you guys are listing, every state. I truly believe Atlanta, Tampa, Chicago, Detroit, even Detroit, right? I actually talked to somebody who does tours and booking, and they go, Detroit's horrible for a guaranteed booking, right? Chris McDonald won, but what's your point, Erica? My point is, I don't know how long you've been here, Chris McDonald. It's not the time or place. There's so many pressing topics and issues that could be brought to the president. And this nigga up there talking about female energy. You know, when my father left my mother, you know, there was a lot of female energy about, and now I'm married to my wife, and you know her family. Female energy. I mean, like, what the hell? Like, I'm not even complaining about the delivery of his speech. I'm not complaining about what he's talking about. Are those things breaking America? No, the poverty is breaking America. Math, the fact that you have people having children and not realizing that they're going to need to go get a skill and work and make money, that's the problem. Even when Bill Clinton did these town hall type, like, perfect example, Bill Cosby, not Bill Clinton, excuse me, I apologize. Bill Cosby did this same thing. He did town halls, and he packed out every single town hall he went to. Kanye West can use a town hall to talk about this. And the problem is, I feel like when an issue, something's a problem for you, you feel like it's a national issue. It's not. Just because your parents broke up doesn't mean it's a national issue. Just because your parents divorced doesn't make it a national issue. Just because women aren't treating you well doesn't make it a national issue. Just because men are not treating you nice doesn't make it a national issue. Just because people are fat in America, that is a national issue. That is a national issue. Let me take that back. There is fat people. That is a national issue. Because the army can't even get... Poverty is a national issue. Now, if he came there from the aspect of, poverty is horrible, and we got to do something about fixing poverty, Trump, I'd have been like, yeah, hard in the paint. Yeah, Kanye talking about poverty. His wife, now I don't think his wife came up with it on her own, but it doesn't matter if she did or did not. If she went and she advocated for that woman to be released from jail and she was released, I think that's really awesome. Even if it wasn't her ideal. It's not just Jason, that's the whole point. You're missing the whole point of what I talked about for an hour now. Jason, we have homeless millions of white men who are fatherless. Millions. I'm talking about there's 104 million white women. I think it might be 102. We'll check my numbers, y'all. But out of those numbers, 25% are having children out of wedlock. So you have more single parent people, white people, than you have actual black women over the age of 18. I mean, are you kidding me? It's a problem in black community. No, it's a problem in America. But it isn't go to the president and have 10-minute talk in front of him. It's ridiculous. And for you guys giving me the stats, let me give you the other stats. Go look on blackdemographics.com. Go look at 36% marriage rates. And people say, well, that's only 36%. Again, let's do the math. 46 million black people. Cut it in half. 23 million of those black people are over the age of 18. Out of those 23 million, 5 million men are married. 5 million women are married. So that's 10 million taken out of that equation. So now what are we down to? 13 million. Out of those 13 million, you got like out of that 6 million women, 5 million men. So you're not even talking about a big chunk of people who are, you're not even talking about a big chunk of people. And some of those people get married after they have the baby. I've seen that way too much lately on Instagram. Everybody's having these proposals and these weddings, and the kid's like 4 walking through the wedding. You dig what I'm saying? So, it's a white country. Of course, there will be more white single parents, families. That doesn't mean anything. It actually does mean something, next bill. I don't know if you're trolling, but moderators keep notice if anybody starts trolling. The point of that is you actually have the national policy saying the numbers are off. The numbers are off. So you probably do have more black people. You probably do have more Hispanic and more Asian. The numbers are off. But at the end of the day, those are the numbers we have to work with. And it's like, okay, it's a problem, but is that the time or place? Everybody hit the like button. It's at 100 people in here. Let's hit the like button. Poverty is the worst type of violence, I believe, or read this years ago from Gandhi. I believe this to be true. Gloria Mitchell, I absolutely agree. I think poverty is like, that is when people, not only poverty, but like hopelessness, right? So you're telling people it'll always be this way. You'll always be just surviving. That is horrific. That's horrific, right? Because if this person goes, life will always be this way, and they have no bandwidth to think life could be different. I mean, right now in America, there's just no reason for somebody to be really honest, there's no reason when you have a phone, which is a computer, in your hand at all times of the day, that people who are like, Erica, I don't know how. Google. I have people send me emails every day asking questions that they could have stopped and Googled. They could have Googled it. They could have went on Quoba. They could have went on any of these warrior forums. They could have went on any of these sites and found that answer. That's a problem. That's a problem, yo. That means your bandwidth is so down that you can't even go, you know what I should do? I should Google this before I even ask this girl this very simple question. you guys, I just saw a Google video camera. You missed it. I would say homelessness is an epidemic, but you know what caused homelessness, honestly, to be as bad as it is right now? One is inflation. Two is the fact that in 1980s, Ronald Reagan, you know, the privatization movement, we closed a lot of regional mental hospitals, and local cities and states were just never equipped to do it, right? Like in Raleigh, you had the Dorothy Dix place, which is on like 300 acres, which now they're converting to a like park for the Raleigh area. That hospital, you know, yes, there were horror stories at a lot of the mental health hospitals. A lot of times they were understaffed. They had way too many people. You could be committed for like crazy reasons. But at the end of the day, you know, it used to be a tight-knit family. If you had one crazy Uncle Bill, as long as you made sure Uncle Bill took his medicine and kind of didn't bother anybody, fine. Well, now you have families that are spread out all over the United States. Nobody can force Uncle Bill to take his medicine. What's the recourse? Uncle Bill becomes homeless and walks the streets, right? In a mental state that is dangerous to him. If you talk to anybody who works in corrections, a lot of the people they're seeing in the prisons are now what? Mental patients, mental health patients. It's not even violent criminals they're worried about as much as the mental health patients who they have to force to take their medicine every day. So if you want to talk about homelessness being a national problem, I would agree. Now, the people that are almost about to fall into homelessness, you know, again, how can we get you to learn, to realize you need job training? And they do so many videos and so many documentaries on where they went to these coal mining towns and go, why don't you become a trucker? Why don't you do this? Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay, but the coal mine industry is dying and your job is going away. Your factory job is going away for years now. Unless you live in Dallas where there's booming manufacturing. And these guys will look at you and go, well, I don't want to do it. And at that point, I just want to say it's not a want. It's a math problem. You can't early retire. You don't have any money. So if you wanted to go, if Kanye West brought that up, I'd be like, that's right. If he talked about homelessness, if he talked about poverty, if he talked about, hey, can we fix like after school program, anything, right? His conversation was a side piece conversation. His conversation was a radio stove conversation. His conversation was a town hall conversation. Beta males put, it's like people forget you need money to survive. I really think they do. I think they get into the fun, like, I think a lot of times people get into the romantic, like, oh, we're dating, we're in love, we're living together in this apartment, everything's rosy. I tell you all the time, when I worked as an apartment manager, I would see people come in with two like really busted cars, and they had an apartment. You could tell they were like, you're looking at their pay stubs, he's making $2,000 some change a month, she's barely making $1,800 a month, and they would get in the apartment and you're like, well, good for them. And then all of a sudden you see them next year with 2 new cars. And then they start being late on their rent payments and stuff. And you'd be like, yo. And I'm just a studier of trends. And I would be like, if they don't stay together, they're going to be broke. If they don't get married and keep making money, he don't keep improving and she don't keep improving, they'll be broke. I think you said the Kardashian curse. I mean, it may be. Lord, they are pulling over today. Sorry, like, they are driving reckless today. Like, get out of the way. Goodness. Jason, if you believe that, then God bless you and have a great day. That's what I'm going to say to that. Leave that one. Yeah, poor people. Well, the thing about poor people, I think what the problem is, if you're working really long hours and multiple jobs, you're just exhausted and you don't have the bandwidth to go, you know what I need to do? Take this class, right? Like, but at some point, every story I've ever heard of somebody like changing their life was they were disgusted. Like, I will no longer be here. I will no longer be overweight. I will no longer be married, or no longer, like, whatever the thing is, they got so disgusted that they pushed towards change. That's always been the story. It's never been, you know what, I just fell into an engineering job. I just fell into a better career. I just fell into selling $100,000 a year. Like, a lot of that is like a deliberate, like, turning needs to happen. Right? Google before you share your information. Oh, Ben the bartender, like, and also trauma. Ben the bartender said, Google before you share disinformation. it's not even that as much as it is people are sharing trauma. Like when I'm on Facebook and they're sharing police shootings left and right and police being agitating somebody, I'll go look at my white friends' Facebook feed because I just want to see what's going on, and they have nothing of the sort. It's like puppies and puppy videos and more puppy videos and travel videos and like kids and puppies and people with babies, and it's like I almost think the algorithm is pushing a trauma, emotional narrative. And you also got to be careful not to like it or share it, because then it starts sending you more of that stuff. So I made a deliberate effort to like start sharing like funny videos and everybody's like, you're really silly online. I thought that was funny. I was like, I'm just trying to change the trauma videos every day and making me be like, what's going on exactly with Dorothy Dix? They're doing, I think they relocated the people to somewhere. I don't know all the details. Obviously, I lived in North Carolina most of my life, but the last 6 years I've been in Texas. There was 1 year I was kind of here off and on hard, but even then, I know they're changing. Like the guy who was the Austin, Texas city planner, they actually hired him and brought him to Raleigh, North Carolina. So imagine he's gonna try to do a town type thing, and I'm all for. I think that'll do nothing but improve Raleigh, because in Raleigh right now you got all these little different parks. And I remember when I lived up here, there was like a guy took me on a date to this one park, and I was like, I'm about to get murdered. But it was just a little park, and they have a lot of little parks all over the place, which is great for families, great for communities. But they do need something big like Austin. Austin, Texas has the Town Lake. They do the music concerts there. They have this theme with that place. Okay, I see what you said, being the bartender. I saw you deleted it, but yeah. I mean, it's a combination of that. Oh, Tyrol Byers. Talk about addictive consumption. Okay, that's true. You could say that's part of the problem too. I mean, it's a math problem, and there's a lot of people, but that's my whole thing is like, if we were to show people, that's what part of the whole FIRE movement gets my attention a lot of times. But it's like, if we were to show people, hey, you only need this number to relax, to peace out, so they could be more in charge of their life. But again, J Love said Kanye's a joke. Okay, love does not pay bills. That's right. Chris Lee TV, it does not. Dating is a temporary business arrangement. Wow, Greek surgeon. Wow. See, there's a thing where this woman paid $16,000 to have her wedding in Greece, and like the man paid like $500 to help her get her hair and feet done, and then he didn't show up to the wedding in Greece. He didn't get on the plane and didn't show up. And I mean, wow, right? And so everybody's like dragging him on the internet, and I keep showing his actual face. I'm like, don't blur that Negro's face, show his face. Now, they were dating for 10 years, and already that's a red flag. Now, I already know every video when I say this, I get messages after. Me and my wife been dating. We were dating for 27 years before we got married. How dare you, Erica? Listen, it don't take all day to recognize sunshine. If somebody want to marry you, a 2-year to 3-year window is absolutely fine if those people are 24 to 32. Let's just be honest. If somebody's 18 years old, wow, they rev it out here. If somebody's 18 years old and they dating for 4 years in college, that's completely different scenario than grown adults working, having a life. You know, there's a speed to everything, but a lot of people are just, it's ridiculous. Like, I've just seen 12 marriages where everybody was dating under at least 6 months, and got married within a year and some change. And everybody's like, well, they might get divorced. Nah, bro. The divorce rate for first-time married people 28 to 32 is 9%. It just don't take all day to recognize sunshine. It just don't. And a lot of dudes you meet, like there was one girl, she got all this flack on YouTube. If I can remember her name, I'll share it. She's in Dallas, Texas, and her and the dude were dating for 6 weeks and got married. No, was it 4 weeks? It was short. It was like a short time frame. And people were like just booing her and treating her like crap and like, you're stupid and they're horrible. 3 years later, they still together. She's still making YouTube videos. They still living the best life. He happy as crap. I mean, I just think a lot of times people are milking it. You know, you ain't got to be dating for no damn 10 years. That don't even sound right. It don't even sound right. It don't sound logical to me. So, people hate me today on this road. I'm just like crossing lanes and cutting over. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Very angry white guy. Okay, Nikki baby, right? Like, they don't got kids out of wedlock. Like, one sister got 3 kids. You know, it's like, what are you talking about? And Kardashians are not worried about money. Now, what you see, okay, so there's a YouTube channel. I'm not making fun of her, but somebody told me her story in here before, where she's 45 and had a baby. All like, whoops, accident, baby. No, ain't no accidents at no damn 45. You know how your body works. And then the dude disappeared. He just disappeared. And I'm like, these people kill me with that, because they know that is not accurate. It doesn't even make good logical sense. That somebody, you were just sleeping with them and magically overnight they've become a new person and disappeared. But she's on YouTube. She named the baby Heaven, but spelled in reverse, like Nivea or whatever. And I'm just like, stop, people. This is getting ridiculous. I was about to say, puppies, algorithms show you more whatever you like. Yeah, so I literally just had to start playing with the algorithm and start liking other stuff. I just had to start doing it. People are social media sharing nihilism trauma. Yeah, I'm in Colorado. Thank you for sharing. I live in Dunn, and Dorothy Dix was a place you did not want to go. Exactly. There you go. Right? And so it's like, even in saying that, where do people go in smaller communities? We don't have, most rural places don't even have and like, here's the thing, California gets the burden of a lot of homeless people because their prices are crazy, but 2, also because the weather isn't bad, so people can sleep outside all year long. Same thing with Hawaii, people can sleep outside all year long and not die. When you have Alaska, they have to wake people up and get them into the shelters or they're gonna die. When you have places like Washington State where it's like hypothermia from the rain and them sleeping outside, like all kind of places where people cannot stay outside, they are not dealing with it as bad as other states. But a lot of that was the fact that you had mental health hospitals. They took away the burden of, like, is this guy a crazy, like they just showed this black man who was falling asleep in court. He had stabbed a 6-year-old to death. And he didn't even have knowledge of it. He's schizophrenic. He was like, what? I did it? Okay. And just fell asleep in court and was like, whatever. Like, they have him on drugs and everything trying to keep him awake. And he's like, okay, whatever. Like there's a mental problem there. So, anyway. I think still get first money, then you'll have money to support your family. Exactly. Oh, Lord. Jay Love, one of those people. The government certificate. The government. Well, you know, actually now that couples can do civil unions, right? Like the gay people can. So there really is no excuse. It's really just you don't want to be committed to some woman you're committed to. And that's okay. That's all right. Just call a spade, and I'm okay with it. Mr. Punisher. If you watch this channel, I was engaged and didn't go through with the wedding because this person was not financially truthful, and that's how I got on a lot of this financial topics. But at the end of the day, you have to pick quality people. Exactly, beautiful. You know, they were talking the other day about, what's his name, Dr. Umar. And they were like, it's not that Dr. Umar essentially slept with a stripper, conscious stripper, excuse me. It's the fact that he's promoting marriage, but yet he's not married. And so, like, I just tell people, I'm like, I don't have any kids. Some of y'all are walking around here with 4 or 5 kids, and y'all live at the woman's house. So, y'all might as well get married. That's all I'm saying. You can drop a contract, but you also can get in a civil union, J-Love. I seen that lady was 45 and had a baby, and she was told she could never have kids. At 45, she should have money. Okay, Nikki, baby, I will give you that. She should have money at 45. There is a giant truck. Let me get out of his way. Okay? Sir, I'm getting out your way. But now I need to turn on this one. So. Wow, real engineer, how bad is it? He said the bums in Hawaii are real. And the thing of it is, it's like the surfing culture. I mean, listen, it's an island, right? And I think we're almost placing very high standards, because that island is very expensive to live there, on the people who naturally would have been living very relaxed lives. Like what's the difference between Jamaican dudes relaxing all day and the Hawaiian dude? I don't know. Other than Hawaii is really expensive, the Hawaii dude can't afford to do that. How to avoid poverty? Don't have kids so you can afford them. Yeah, true. I like to look at puppies because they aren't allowed in my house. Sorry. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like, I just started to do that, like puppies and babies laughing videos, just to break the algorithm up, and I think it's helped. Stop playing. Nikki Baby says she saw a homeless man in Palm Springs like he was living his best life. Hey, he may have been. I mean, the thing about California, I mean, the weather is nice. I'll give it to y'all. In Texas, in the summer, when you see, like, I told you guys this story and I'll tell it again. There was a homeless, pregnant white woman outside, real pregnant, with the sign out, you know, you're like, girl, it's 96 damn degrees out here. So everybody's stopping, giving her water, giving her money, whatever, giving her everything. And you would see her pocket would be like fat with bands. Okay. And she was a blonde white woman, pregnant, signs, pregnant help. And our church and everybody went over there and tried to talk to her, like, hey, do you need housing? We can go ahead and get you housing. We can hook you up. Girl, she already had a house. She already, like, somebody else had already provided her with housing. She was standing out there panhandling because she was like, well, I can't get to where I need to go to. My car is bad. And like, the stories. But at the end of the day, like, she knew her marketplace value. She was a blonde white woman, big, pregnant, and people would feel sorry in this very wealthy part of Austin, and they would stop and they would give her money because they felt bad because she was out there in damn 100-degree weather pregnant. I literally was like, girl, that baby cooking, you need to go in the house. But our church and several people from our church stopped and talked to her. You know, so some of the homeless problem is life choices, and some of the homeless problem is people abusing it, unfortunately. Because my first thought is, if you're already homeless, how did you get pregnant, right? And life happens, but babies are made. That's all I'm saying. No, Mars, MSG, it's not that civil unions are what we basically most states approve for gay people, but at the end of the day, civil unions allows you to do a lot of things as far as life insurance, banking, hospital stays, any kind of like power of attorney you need to get, you can have with civil unions. And the problem is, really, I don't think it's that marriage is the problem. It's the person that you connected to. Like, because if Holly Berry came over there with her crazy self and was like, yo, only way you can have me is you marry me, I feel like a lot of these people that never do marriage would jump up and marry Holly Berry and get their Kevin Federline on and get a check. You know what I'm saying? When they got divorced. I just feel like it's an excuse. You know, we like what we like all of a sudden when it's who we like. So let's be honest. Dr. Uma, what? Not moist. Why you put that up there? That ain't right. Thank you so much, Miss Riviera, for the $5 super chat. Thank you for supporting the show. They have scraped this whole road, so I'm sorry if this is very loud. And I didn't put my headset in because I was just like trying to get down the road. But this road is loud. I apologize in advance. I did not know all this was scraped. That's how fast Raleigh's running. I'm like, when they do this? Okay. All right. Smoother road. Sorry about that. Well, you know, the funny thing, too, about Texas, to give you, like, because everybody's, about civil unions, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on that. We had a guy that worked at Papa John's, and, he had bought this house, and he had his baby mama, living there, white woman, and they're both white or whatever. But on Facebook one day, she changed it to married, right? Because so many people have been asking. So she changed it to married, so happy, and then, like, she tagged him, and he liked it. And then he was talking to his friend who's a lawyer. He's like, oh, y'all got married? He's like, no, she just put it on Facebook. He's like, you do know, just her announcing publicly that y'all are married and you have agreed and you have liked the post and you've seen the post and you're tagged in it. You guys are now common law married. And if she wanted to fight you for this house, she could. Homeboy was running out of Papa John's to get that thing off Facebook. I mean, it was quite funny. It's the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. But he was just like, what? the Texas law has some unique laws, but they do help. They usually are in favor of helping the ladies sometimes. I see people live under. I gotta get away from this car because he's like way over. I see people living under the bridge like they are in a hotel. Yeah, you see some of that, unfortunately. Raleigh's got some spots that I would be like, if y'all can just fix this, I'd be happy. But I can't tell them what to do. A lot of people with signs are scammers. Yeah, I feel like a significant portion are. Because especially with Texas, it's so hot. It's so hot that you feel, I mean, I've given money to one or two guys. Now, I will say this. My mom is the kind of person, she gives money to black panhandlers. And I couldn't understand for a long time. She's like, well, I just feel like white people won't give them any money, so I give them money. And I'm like, no, Mom, don't give them the money. And she just looks at me like, Erica, that's so cruel. So, Sergeant Grant gives the money. Yeah, that's perfect. That is perfect. That's a perfect park. Hold on. We need family, friends, and our faith communities to introduce to potential spouses of substance so we know their background, temperament, social history. Dating is a cesspool of ministry. Donovan Sims. Listen, the funny part of like when the guy asked me about being married, the guy that I got engaged to, one of his male friends was like, nah, bro. No. That's how, like, I think you do need community, and community needs to be honest about, I think community is just life-changing, because at the deal at the time was like, I was very much church going, very much, you know, all these particular things. And it wasn't until like one of his male friends that knew him, but he knew me from college and was like, like he didn't crap on him. He didn't say, man, that dude is not a productive dude or not a dude that's focused. He just was like, Erica, I think y'all won't make a good couple long term. And I was like, oh. And then he said something else again a little bit later, but I was like, he was doing the best he could without breaking bro code. He was doing the best he could. Like, and I appreciate that. So yeah, I think it is everybody. I've seen Donovan Sims. So far in my life, I've introduced 9 people to each other. I had, like, I can kind of, I don't want to say their names on here, but there are 9 married couples that I personally introduced like, hey, this is my friend. You guys should know each other. And they are married now. And I'm like, y'all need to do the favor in return here. Come on now. So yeah. Oh, Cherished Adventure. There's a whole thing I could go into Cherished Adventure. There's a whole thing about, I think in America, for a long time, it benefited people to have some poor people who just worked in the factories. They got out of school early and they just go over there and go work, and nobody cared. Blue collar folks. And it worked for our economy for a long time. But what people didn't take into account was retirement years. Like, how are these people going to retire if we don't really educate them on retirement? How are these people going to retire? You know, are they going to just live simple their whole life? And when I mean simple, I don't mean like dumb. I mean simple like they're just going to buy a house and buy one truck, and they just keep that one truck and that one house forever. Well, that doesn't work. That model is gone. But I think as far as like payday loans and all that stuff, they are making a killing off of people not knowing that, okay, a payday loan, 300% interest, dude. Even some of these credit cards, like all these people out here going credit card crazy. They're like, Erica, 0% interest for 12 months. And I'm like, okay, but it's 30% interest on the other months. So you have some people trying to do long-term trickeration with credit cards, and you're like, that ain't gonna work. How are you going to have a society without people on the bottom? Well, you know, it was funny. How to make money, more money. I think you'll always have the Bible says the poor will always be with you, but not even that. I just think you'll always have some people who are on the bottom. You'll always. Now, are there levels to it? Yes. Now, you can have a school teacher and her husband have a paid off home and a paid off car. And to some people, they may be poor or on the bottom, but as long as they are able to take care of themselves, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, can you care for yourself? Can you live without being put on the street in your 80s. You know what I'm saying? So every society has that. But okay, so everybody, look, I gotta run. I'm down here in Raleigh. I've got to go into this government building, so they don't like cameras. So anyway, you guys, everybody, it's 118 people here. It's 52 likes. Hit the freaking like. Oh, come on. Hit the freaking like button. Come on. Make this show work. Show works when you work it. So thank you, everybody. This is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Listen, the $50 special is still up for the 20-minute consult call. I'll put it in the links after I close this out. You guys can hit that button. I'm okay with that. I will schedule your calls around 2 or 3 o'clock today. I'll get in there and email you the times for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and what I have available as far as calls, because you guys literally sent like 400 emails, and that's crazy. So I had to delete a lot of them. So, you know, unless you were a previous client, your email pretty much almost automatically got deleted or archived. So, everybody, this is Erica, Classy Climb blog, author of the Smartphone Millionaire book on Amazon. You can get the hard copy there. Thank you so much, Chris McDonald. Thank you, Jay Love. Thank you, all the people that came along. Gloria Mitchell. I hope you guys are having a great time. This Saturday, we'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina with Nina. Nina, she's a wholesaler out of Cleveland. So, Saturday, we'll be in the NOTA district at one of the bars. I'll be posting details all over here on YouTube, also on Instagram. You guys share it with each other. Thank you so much, you guys. It's Erica, Classy Climb blog. Have an awesome day.